Hello, everybody, and welcome to your Every Other Day vlog with B Libre, with Andy. So today we're going to talk about, and of course, before I get into financial stuff, I must preface this by saying that this channel by no means is giving any financial advice whatsoever. So please take all of this as opinion. This is just my own opinion. Please don't invest more than you're willing to lose into Bitcoin or any cryptocurrency for that matter. And as you know, there are most cryptocurrencies I would suggest you stay away from. So the very few that are somewhat valuable, I guess, again, only invest what you're comfortable losing. This is still very new technology, very exciting, very promising, but still very new, still an experiment. Socially, as well as economically, as well as technologically. We'll see how far we go, but I think so far so good. And I say that in the midst of a current downturn in Bitcoin and most cryptocurrencies, and that's okay. This video is going to talk about what to do considering the current downtrend in cryptocurrency prices. And it's funny to call this a downtrend when it really is. We went from nearly $20,000 per Bitcoin to what, 10,000 today? Not good. That's a 50% loss. But I think we must look at this in a logarithmic scale fashion, and that means we must compare last year's price to this year's price, last year this day to this year this day, and we will see that we're looking pretty good. Last year, we were around $1,000 at this day, if maybe a bit less. And now we're at $10,000. That's a 10x increase. Of course, the unfortunate truth is that maybe many of you invested when Bitcoin was at $15,000, $20,000. And if you're one of those people who came in and put in a lot of money during that time, I feel for you. And the best advice I can give you right now is hold. So don't sell. You've only lost money the moment that you sell your Bitcoin. I can tell you from previous experience, I was here before Mt. Gox collapsed, and I was one of the people that was putting in money well towards the higher valuations right before the Mt. Gox crash, around $1,000. And then we hit around 2-year dry spell where Bitcoin was just kind of plateauing around $400, $500, sometimes going down as low as $200. And I believed in the technology. I believed in what it's doing, what it's still doing, and what it was doing back then. And we finally broke that plateau. It's funny to make this metaphor, but it's really like working out. You don't really see the gains until you've been at it for a few months. While every day you're going through the motions, you're working on yourself, working on building yourself, working on making yourself stronger. You don't notice the small gains day to day. Bitcoin is very much the same way. I think a lot of its value comes from the network effect. That's Metcalfe's law. The bigger the network, the more people that are using it, the more people working on it, the more projects depending on it and building on top of it, the more valuable Bitcoin becomes. And we will again see those rises in price, assuming Bitcoin continues to do what it's doing, assuming cryptography doesn't break, or rather encryption doesn't break, the current encryption that it works with, and assuming no new attack vectors open themselves that we didn't foresee. In which case, I think Bitcoin may take a dip, and assuming the problem is fixed, we'll continue as usual. If you guys remember, Bitcoin's price was around $400, $500, and SegWit wasn't around. SegWit was being worked on, and SegWit was fixing a pretty big issue, pretty big problem that led to what is Bitcoin Cash's fork today. Without the malleability fix, ASIC Boost was going to keep unfairly benefiting one mining pool, and specifically one mining manufacturer, over everybody else. And obviously that's we don't want unfairness in the market. And interestingly enough, the market did help us there. The market did correct the issue. Bitcoin Cash is now worth a tenth of what Bitcoin is worth today, and it's obvious why. But now we're getting a little bit off topic. How to deal with this current dry spell? How to deal with this current downtrend in Bitcoin? And that's dollar cost averaging, guys. That is the best way to deal with a downtrend. Assuming the asset is valuable, assuming it really is valuable, assuming it really is something that is going to better the economy, that is going to better the market, which I believe Bitcoin is. I believe it's doing a lot of things that we've never seen before. It's a completely new asset class, unlike anything we've ever seen before. And the best part is it works. The best part is this isn't vaporware. This isn't something that maybe will work. It's working today. It's currently working. And the bigger the network, again, the more projects that come on to work on it, the more valuable it's going to become. And for those of you who are on the sidelines and not sure when to come in, there's never a good time or a bad time to come in, guys, honestly. Bitcoin has been bringing returns pretty consistently year to year. Even in that downtrend, Bitcoin maybe wasn't bringing in lots of value those 2 years where we were between $200 and $500. But if you put money into Bitcoin then, assuming you didn't have to tap into that money later, it was going to do work for you. And I really believe it's the millennials 401k. It's sad to say, but a couple of friends of mine who have been investing in their 401ks aren't seeing anywhere near the returns that Bitcoin is bringing. And this isn't to boast. This isn't to say that I was right or that Bitcoin was definitely going to be the clear winner. I'm merely saying this: Bitcoin is a new asset class. It would be foolish to not study it, to not understand it better, to not look into it, and to diversify into it a little bit. You're not depending on one company, guys, when you invest in Bitcoin. You're depending on mathematics, an entire protocol, and an entire markets agreement, an entire world markets consensus. You are, in a sense, jumping in, not head first, I might add. You are wisely going into a project that has the blessing of the majority of the market. Bitcoin has the highest market cap right now because it has earned it. It has earned the right. It has earned the respect of the market. The same amount of Bitcoin are created every 10 minutes, every day of the week, for as many years as it's been alive, around 9 by now. And the reduction, the halving, which reduces the inflation of Bitcoin, has been going according to plan. It has not changed. There is no inflation that is unannounced, unbeknownst to the market. And that's always going to make a confident market, a confident consensus in a money. And Bitcoin is the first time we've been able to do that since gold, I believe. And even then, even gold has been problematic in the times past because we quickly shifted to using paper to represent gold. And what happens when you use paper to represent gold is you can make more of the paper than you can make of the gold. You can't do that with Bitcoin, guys. You can't do that. Even forks aren't a valid representation of inflation because forks are a different protocol, a different consensus that the entire market doesn't agree to. And if the entire market doesn't agree to that change isn't worth anything. It's worth a tenth, 1/100th. Look at Bitcoin Gold, guys. Look at Bitcoin Cash. So dealing with these downtrends, dollar cost average, that's going to be your best bet. Dollar cost average means I'm so sorry. I should have explained that earlier when I first brought it up. My bad. So dollar cost averaging is putting in the same amount of money, during the same time frames, every other week or every other month. Make it consistent, make it independent of whatever's happening out in the market. So a good example is buy every Monday, or buy every Wednesday at the same time, the same day of the week, the same amount of money. You will feel better about it. As always, make sure it's not something Make sure it's not more than what you're willing to lose. Make sure you're diversified in your assets. But what's nice about Bitcoin is that it doesn't require you to own an entire stock to own any part of it. You can own 1/100th of a Bitcoin, and it's still going to give you the gains that you wouldn't get because if you try to invest in a stock, because you need the entire stock. And then there's the brokers, then there's all the middlemen in between that will shave a bit off the top there from you. But yeah, guys, we're gonna survive this downtrend. We're gonna hodl strong, and we'll get through this. Until next time, bye.